This is the Fan Connection podcast where we talk all things sports entertainment. We're your hosts. I'm Lewis Michaels.
And I'm Devin Steele.
Let's get right into it.
All right, so we're starting off with Raw, the July 8th edition. CM Punk starts the show, and he's practically talking about what happened at the pay-per-view Money in the Bank, and talking about what he did to Drew McIntyre and how he feels about what Drew McIntyre did to him on SmackDown, and all that sort of thing.
Then Seth Rollins comes out and he's like, well, hey, dude, you didn't just screw Drew McIntyre over. You screwed me over, too. And, Punk kind of realized that. And he was like, well, dude, I wasn't meaning to screw you over, you know?
Yeah, and they already kind of had beef.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins doesn't like CM Punk, especially after he returned to the company. And so he basically called him a hypocrite and was saying, I'm coming for you once you're healed up because you cost me my shot. But if you ask me, I think adding Seth Rollins in the mix is kind of getting in the way of Punk and Drew's moment. And I'm kind of wondering if maybe CM Punk won't be ready in time for SummerSlam.
Yeah, because me and you talked about this before. Don't you think it's about time to pull the strings on the match, right? It's about time for the CM Punk Drew McIntyre match to happen. It's at the breaking point.
And now Drew McIntyre is coming back next Raw, and I have a feeling Seth Rollins has something to say to him as well, and probably Damian Priest too. And so, could we see Seth Rollins and Drew at SummerSlam rather than CM Punk and Drew?
And I think that's the way we might be going if we don't get 100% CM Punk, because he's still not medically cleared yet.
And I don't really know what the holdup is on that.
So it's like they're pretty they're pretty much keeping a storyline going with like a dude that can't do it right now. You know, we want to see that, but CM Punk's not cleared to do it, so he can't right now. You know, so why push it that deep if he can't? You know, it kind of makes me I want to see CM Punk in that match. You know, so it's kind of sad that that's the reality of it. You know, we may actually get.
What more can CM Punk and Drew McIntyre do to one another on the way to their match?
Exactly. Other than CM Punk costing him a normal match against Seth Rollins, you know, what's that gonna do? You know, you've already cost him the world title match and his cash in. How can you get under his skin anymore? You know.
And I'm not saying let's not see Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre, and let's not see Seth Rollins and CM Punk. I think let's just wait until after this is done.
All right. They're trying to cross the storylines or something.
But I hope that CM Punk will be 100% for SummerSlam, and we can get the Punk and Drew match that everybody's waiting on.
But then that gets us into our first match of the night, which was Chad Gable and Jey Uso. Which, I mean, seeing everything on Raw we've been seeing, we knew kind of what was going to happen because it was just Chad Gable and Jey Uso, you know?
I think I literally sent you a text, why it's 6 inbound.
Yeah, we both had a good feeling about that, you know, they would have something to do with the ending of the match. I knew that, but you know, I was kind of disappointed that we did get another tape, you know.
Yeah, I'm starting to get a little confused because if they're meant to be coming for Chad Gable, he was laying in the middle of the ring. Off the distraction.
Dude, he was flat on his ass, dude. If they wanted to get him, they had him exactly. So I don't think they're going after him, man.
Yeah, and it's that's what I'm saying. Is why? If they wanted Chad Gable, they had him.
Chad Gable's been there twice in the position twice. So I think they're maybe just using him to get the message out there or something. I have no idea.
And I don't know if you noticed, but I do feel like the Wyatt Six is following Jey Uso around.
Every time the Fireflies are out, dude, it's just a thing, bro. It's gonna happen.
So I don't know. I guess I'm ready to see more from the Wyatt Six, bro. It's all well and good seeing the VHS tape and them coming out and everybody being scared and running away, but
they could at least give us a match with one of the Wyatt Six members against Chad Gable or something. You know, they could give us something.
Nobody of the Wyatt Six has been off of a TV screen so far.
Right.
Except for Nikki Cross, she walks down and hands him a box. I just think, I just think we need to move on a little bit, and maybe that's what we're getting with that like cliffhanger at the end with Bo Dallas being in Adam Pearce's office.
Yeah, dude, that was wild because when the look on Bo Dallas's face when he opened the door, I was like, okay, he's not after Chad Gable because he could have gotten him right then. You know what I mean? Like Chad Gable was right there, bro. If the White Six was gonna get Chad Gable, they would have got him then.
And if they, I feel like if they wanted Jey Uso, they have him too.
Yeah, because as soon as he would have ran backstage right into him, right? Exactly. Like, there's no way, bro. Like, they don't want either one of them. It's just like
I think Uncle Howdy's target is somebody else,
I think it might be the
or
management.
at least it doesn't feel like they want Chad Gable that bad. Moving on, though, Bronson Reed vs. Pete Dunne. Okay, Bronson Reed. I like Bronson Reed. I like watching him. I like his gimmick. I like his moves. I do like Bronson Reed, but what does going over Pete Dunne on Raw with no stakes on the line, like kind of impromptu? I don't know if there was any like interaction or anything leading up to this match.
And I differ on this one. I don't like Bronson Reed, dude. I don't know what they're doing with him. I feel like they could carry him a little bit better, you know? Like, they got him out there playing video games with Xavier Woods, you know, and Otis. Like, Pete Dunne is not a strong competitor to, like, face him against. Like, I want to see Pete Dunne go against somebody else, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see him go against Bronson
Reed.
Pete
Dunne's kind of come out of nowhere. I understand. I think his partner suffered an injury, and that's kind of why I think he floated into this position.
His tag team partner is Tyler Bate. He had gotten injured at an NXT event or something, I think, and now we're having to see Pete Dunne in these random matches that don't really make any sense, sadly. Which that happens when your tag team partner gets hurt, unfortunately.
But I mean, it's basically just TV time. Sheamus runs in to save Pete Dunne from Bronson Reed at the end.
And Pete Dunne, like, didn't want nothing to do with him, dude. I was like, what?
I don't really know why Sheamus stuck his nose in that business. I guess because he's a good guy. He didn't want to see someone getting picked on or whatever.
But the last time the Brawling Brutes were a thing, like, he like walked out on him and that other guy. So, I mean, I guess that's, you know, he's still playing a part in that. He's like, nah, bro, you done walked out on me, you know, get away from me.
Maybe they'll do a little program with Sheamus and Pete Dunne.
That might be good. I'd like to see that because Sheamus could put Pete Dunne over, you know what I mean? Like, that'd be perfect.
Give him something to do while Tyler Bate's out of action.
Right. Like, they at least, you know, have a dispute, you know, like a storyline going with that because they were a tag team for a while.
But maybe that segment will lead to something.
Then we get moving on to the Braun and Sammy segment.
It's Braun hit him with the same trick he did last week.
Yeah.
Oldest trick in the book. I respect you, Sammy. You're the only man who beat me. And then he acted like he was going to leave and turned around and hit a spear.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, he beats Sammy down and hits another huge spear, like all the way from up the entrance ramp, all the way around the ring. And I mean, Sammy, you got to get a little smarter.
Yeah, dude. Like, he ate 2 spears from that man, bro. And, like, I mean, then we see Ilya run out, right? Like, after that little segment.
To his rescue.
And like I'm thinking like in my head like Ilya's like down there asking Sammy, he's like, hey man, I've got your back, give me a title match, you know.
It's definitely kind of what it feels like.
So I'm gonna make a prediction right here with this segment. I'm gonna say Ilya Dragunov, Sami Zayn, and Braun Breaker for the IC title at SummerSlam, and you say what y'all want about that.
That's plausible, dude. And
it just seems like what they could be building.
Maybe that'll be Braun Breaker's moment then.
Because Sami Zayn had the distraction of Ilya in the match too, and that's how I feel like Braun would go over. And maybe it's time for Braun to hold a title. I mean, dude, he's working good.
That would be a huge match for Ilya and Braun being so new to the main roster. Being in a triple threat with Sami for the IC title. I wouldn't mind seeing that.
I think it'd be a banger. It'd be a good match.
Next match. Braun Strowman and the Awesome Truth are defeated by Judgment Day.
Dude, Awesome Truth.
Basically, the Judgment Day kind of picked the Awesome Truth apart the whole match.
Yeah, dude, they're like kind of like the tag match last week when they lost. The Miz pretty much did his job, and everybody else was not in the right place at the right time, and it caused him to get beat up.
I'll agree with you there. The Miz is doing his job. R-Truth just wants to play around too much.
He gets confused by everybody.
And then Braun Strowman gets too angry and runs out of the arena,
and
leaving
chases,
his team alone.
chases somebody after one person that probably wasn't even in the match. You know what I mean?
I mean, Braun Strowman will just team up with anybody nowadays, it seems like. But the double freight train, that was a pretty cool spot. And, I mean, the Judgment Day jumped Braun Strowman again, like the third or fourth time. I understand why he's so angry. I mean, the Awesome Truth is just out there to have fun.
Dude, JD McDonough gets something off of, like, making Braun Strowman mad.
Yeah, he definitely was, like, kind of teasing him, right?
Like, he likes getting under that big man's skin. So I'll give JD McDonough his props.
And then the Uncle Howdy tape gets played for us. And he kind of goes through the members of the Wyatt Six, talking like these people were lost and I'm going to set them free. And they do like this weird overlay thing where Bo Dallas is kind of inside of each of the Wyatt Six members as they're shown on the screen. And it's like, it's definitely like some kind of spirit, like cryptic, you know, ghost horror stuff going on. I think it's the same problem we kind of touched on a little bit earlier, where Bray Wyatt, well, Bo Dallas is being like they're doing these video segments and nothing else is really kind of happening.
Like he's just giving us messages, like when he said the sick thing, like he's like sick, so sick will be. Yeah, like that's just like, you know, like we already kind of knew that. You said you were the Wyatt Six, you know.
We already kind of knew. Like, you already kind of showed us there was different members of your team, and then we already kind of got the gist that they were going to come after everybody because they literally beat up the entire roster.
Yeah.
Like, at their debut. I don't know why this tape was necessary, and I don't want to be a hater. I don't want to talk trash. But we need to see the Wyatt Six, like, start doing something with somebody. I think there's plenty of good choices.
Right. Especially with, like, the Judgment Day and all them, you know, like, actual groups on Raw right now, so.
I mean, the videotapes are just slowly not, like, they're slowly becoming not enough. Next match, Ilya defeats Braun Breaker by DQ.
And, man, I just want to say, that pisses me off, because, like, dude, we wanted to see that match, you know what I mean? Like, Ilya Dragunov, like, would have probably finished a good match in that, like, but, like, why they gotta do him like that, you know? Like, aren't they trying to build him up too, this other guy from NXT, you know? Like, they can't just be putting them two against each other like that. It kind of rubs me the wrong way, you know what I mean?
Yeah, apparently there's some good history between the two from NXT and stuff. And it was a physical match. It was entertaining, you know, but I'm just not a fan of the DQ finish. Especially not when you've got two superstars of that caliber that can actually work. And Braun Breaker just looks like he's throwing a tantrum. I mean, granted, nobody can get him. Like, you know, both Sammy and Ilya tried at the same time. Braun Breaker might be unjumpable. And Braun Strowman needs to take some classes, some lessons, I think, about getting jumped.
Yeah, the Judgment Day needs to go pick on someone their own size. Like, they need to go try to jump him.
Let the Judgment Day try to come jump Braun Breaker.
I don't think it's going to happen, man.
I don't think they can do it. But in the end, Braun Breaker stands tall, and it does look like he'll get another shot with Sammy moving forward.
Damage Control defeated Lyra Valkyria, Katana Chance, and Caden Carter in a I mean, it was a decent match. It was all right, but like Damage Control, dude. Like I feel like something's finna happen with the Dakota Kai thing. I feel like the change Io Sky's talking about is they're finna get rid of Dakota Kai too.
Maybe so. They Damage Control kind of was battling with this other three person tag, Lyra Valkyria, Katana Chance, and Kaden Carter. And I mean, the match was well and good. It was a trip, like they did a triple suplex spot, and I mean, I like Chance and Carter, and I like Valkyria. I don't know what their relation is as a team, other than maybe they don't like Damage Control.
Right.
But Damage Control went over. Io Sky hits her moonsault to kind of steal the victory at the end.
And then out of nowhere, Sonya Deville of all people, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Stark come in and like we're gonna get this like trio faction with them now. We haven't seen Sonya Deville in a hot minute, like on TV. So that's kind of crazy to see that. Like so what do you think their group's gonna be about?
I don't know. I do remember a while back Sonya Deville was kind of going around trying to recruit people.
She was like scouting in a way.
Yeah. And she's like giving them an offer, like think about it, kind of thing.
But in the ring though, like Sonya Deville, she's actually pretty good. Like I like the way she wrestles, like because she's like I wish she wrestled more because like I always say, there's not enough women that wrestle like in a certain style, and she wrestled like that. Like her and Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch, like people like that, they have a certain way they wrestle that looks good, and like like we need more people like her. So maybe this is good for them because we did say that they needed something. That's something.
Yeah, in a previous episode, we did talk about they needed change. And so I'm going to try and be open-minded and see what they can do as a team.
But I think they're gonna get more power than Damage Control right now, just because like we really don't know what's going on with them. Because Io's like, oh, we need change. Okay, well like now there's this group coming after you. You know what I'm saying? So you better change fast. You know what I'm saying? So like I mean. It's just like it leaves them something to think about now too, because they jumped them too, like so maybe we'll get this group versus Damage Control, and that'd be a good match, I think.
On to the next match, mixed tag team action.
Dominic
and Liv defeat Ray and Selena. Dominic finally got one over on his old man.
Rey Mysterio is now 3-1 against his little boy.
With Liv assist though.
Dude, it was like a 619 like thrift store out there, bro.
A little bargain sale.
Like it just.
I feel like half the match was spent either setting the 619 up and attempting it, or actually doing the move.
Yeah, that's like a lot of what the match was, and then I figured that something was gonna happen, like with the Liv Morgan was gonna cheat or some way somehow, and like obviously Dom was gonna get one over on his dad. I figured it's about time because, like, literally last week they had a match and Ray beat him. Like, obviously they're going to come over.
After all the matches and rematches, Dom finally got it one. But in the end, I don't know if that victory was quite as good as the embarrassment and the punishment that he's sure to receive.
Yeah, because Mommy is back.
And Dominic, you have been caught in the most precarious position
on
live TV.
You couldn't have been caught in a worse position, bro. Like
Lita and Edge style with Liv Morgan.
It's over for you, brother.
And then he tried to give her a hug. He thought that would make it all better.
She swerved Strickland his ass.
And I'm a little upset that they cut this segment off so early.
I was a little disappointed we didn't get to even hear Rhea talk. I thought she was going to cut a promo or something.
And then Liv just hightailed it away.
Yeah, she hot ass.
But I think that's probably for the best. I think moving on, dude, we really could get the custody match at SummerSlam.
Either that or it's going to be him as the special guest referee. I've been seeing a bunch of stuff here lately.
That would be crazy.
I can see him being, and like, then we'll actually get to see, like, was he actually on Liv's side or was he just waiting until Mommy came back? Because he has been acting like he don't want her to touch him, you know what I mean? So, like, maybe he's setting her up,
But I think she won him over because she helped him defeat his dad. Like, he was about to kiss her.
It was close. And you hear, "This is my brutality." Yeah, dude, that was. I wasn't expecting her to come back this soon. I was expecting like SummerSlam or something. But like, dude, I'm glad for it. I'm happy.
I had called Money in the Bank, and I was kind of close.
Because I mean, now we're gonna get for sure, right? For sure, Rhea and Liv at SummerSlam for
100%.
sure, right? I hope so.
And if anybody tries to get in Mommy's way back to the #1 contendership, you know what I mean?
Oh, dude, she's getting that title back regardless. Even if she's got to win the Royal Rumble or something.
Regardless, she's gonna be at SummerSlam battling Liv Morgan.
And that, dude, if she gets a title match like that right when she gets back, she's going over, dude. Like, all the fans want her back as champion. It's just proven. But welcome back, Mommy.
And after that, we're going to move into July 12th SmackDown. Tiffany Stratton, Miss Money in the Bank, Center of the Universe, comes out.
Your girl Tiffy time, boy.
And she's bragging. She's like, "I won the Money in the Bank. It's Tiffy time. All the championships, title reigns are on Tiffy time. Tiffy time this, Tiffy time that." Well, you know, good for you. But then Bayley comes out to interrupt her segment pretty much and says, and basically warns her that she's ready for a cash in at any time, and that Tiffany Stratton better be careful not to lose her opportunity and be the only woman to ever fail at cashing in the Money in the Bank contract.
Yep, because the statistics are the women's Money in the Bank, they've cashed in 100% and became champions so far. But Bayley pretty much laid some facts down, though, bro. She was like, okay, well, like, go ahead and cash in. Then you got to face her, you know? Like,
yeah,
pretty much trying to break up Nia Jax and Tiffany's little coalition they got. But
Nia had come to defend Tiffany Stratton, and Bayley basically was just like, she called out their dumb strategy that we had already kind of seen through. We're like, you guys are working together, but you both want the same thing. Like, you're going to come to a head at some point.
They'll be like Awesome Truth. They'll be like R-Truth winning the Royal Rumble and The Miz winning the Money in the Bank. Like, they're not going to be friends after that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's not a good idea. So, I mean, eventually down the road, we're going to see Tiffany versus Nia Jax, I think, anyway.
And Meechin comes out again with the kendo stick and wails on the Queen of the Ring once again, moving us into their match, Nia versus Meechin, to kick off Friday Night SmackDown. Bayley at ringside and Miss Money in the Bank, Tiffany Stratton.
Just for Nia Jax to do what she does every time and squash her, dude. And like, literally squash her.
But with that said, the Annihilator, are you taking it?
Not a chance.
I don't think I could either. But Tiffany and Nia beat up Bayley after the match. And Tiffany teases like she's going to cash in. Like, it looks like she's about to cash in. And then Nia's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
You know, like, stop it.
It's just kind of dumb.
Yeah, and it's like you're smart enough to realize that that's a no-no in the present. But when Bayley spells it out for you, you just kind of glance over it and you don't care.
Right.
So I just kind of don't understand. But this is what we asked for. Remember, we said we wanted Nia and Bayley to get more time to build up their feud before their match at SummerSlam.
That's what's happening.
And I
just don't know if they're hitting it on the nail,
they've
bro.
still got a little bit of time. Next match of the night, Legado del Fantasma defeats Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews.
Like, where y'all been? Apollo and Baron, bro. Like, what you doing?
Who the hell cares?
Apollo, you just got jumped by these guys, right? And then you want to come out and help Baron Corbin after he just got jumped by these guys, right? And then y'all go out there and lose to these guys.
And never mind you, this is still stemming from that one time where Apollo Crews was meant to face an Andrade or something, and Legado del Fantasma beat him up.
Like, literally. And
now Baron Corbin's involved somewhere. They must be doing this on WWE Speed or something.
They gotta be, dude.
Because it's like,
we're not getting nothing for that storyline.
I don't care about Baron Corbin. I don't care about Apollo Crews. I mean, they're both guys that have been to developmental time after time, and they
both make it back to the main roster and recycle it out.
They get hurt or they go back to developmental. and it's just there's nothing, no substance to that.
Baron Corbin just needs to keep cooking on TikTok and feeding it to his wife. I'm sorry, but
Yeah, absolute snooze fest.
because like, bro, we seen you when we were growing up, and you did a lot better back then, buddy. Like,
yeah,
you know,
the Lone
like,
Wolf was definitely cooler.
that was a badass character. I like that Baron Corbin.
After that, though, it's
We get-
revealed to us.
Yeah, we get something good.
LA Knight has a signed U.S. title match contract at SummerSlam. All he has to do, though, is get Logan Paul's signature.
And see, that might be harder than that might be harder, dude. Because like, I mean, if he don't show up, he can't sign it. But Logan Paul's not missing SummerSlam, bro. Like, that's a moneymaker. You know what I mean? Like,
Imagine LA Knight gets it signed like 10 minutes before their match at SummerSlam.
it's probably gonna be something like that. Like, you gonna see Logan Paul pulling up in some crazy sports car, bro, and like be like walk out for the match. And then I just hope if the match actually happens, LA Knight goes over, because I'm sick of only seeing like 4 title matches
If
in
they
like
make LA
this
Knight
span.
chase Logan Paul this hard just to fail,
They're wasting his pop, dude, because he's over right now.
and LA Knight's stock is kind of only deteriorating the more WWE is not using him and pushing him down the card. So we need to get something going on with LA Knight.
Oh, like LA Knight too, about that, the US title thing. See, like, a lot of people actually were called, like 45% of people called LA Knight to win the Money in the Bank. So like, dude, like, fans are still like hot for LA Knight. So I think he might be getting his US title shot, bro. I think he might be getting his time.
It's about time.
It is about time. It's about damn time, bro. He's waited a long time. He came a long way from Maximum Male Models. You know what I mean? Like, he's worked his way through there.
Next match, Naomi defeats Blair Davenport, Super Cena style.
Oh,
You
dude.
ain't going over. Get off the main roster.
But see, like, the only part about that match that I really actually enjoyed was at the end. Blair Davenport, after losing, was like trying to shake her hand or whatever, and then walked away and then jumped her.
Yeah, and then she turned around and jumped her.
I was like, okay, well, now we know she's going to be a freaking heel, you know? Like, we finally know who this girl
and
is.
now we get another match with Naomi and Blair Davenport. Oh, boy.
Next week, dude, it's going to be a Super Cena match. I'm ready for it.
That's all I have to say about Naomi and Blair Davenport's little match.
We get another DIY and A-Town Down Under match for the titles, which I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't know they were doing that, the rematch clause.
Yeah, rematch clause.
But they did, and like, because here recently they haven't been giving champions their rematch clause,
Not
so like
really.
we didn't expect them to get one, you know? So when we got this match, I was kind of surprised, actually. I was like, oh, dude, it's for the titles, you know? Like, I figured they were going to be like #1 contender match or something, you know?
Both teams had good spots, bro. They're both teams are good workers. And it was interesting TV, entertaining. But, I mean, DIY was obviously always going to retain.
Grayson Waller had a spot, too, where he was like, he was going to connect with a move, and he completely, like, flopped, bro. Like, he fell out of the ring and everything.
He fell out of the ring.
And that kind of irritates me in a way, because he's trying to act like he's better than Theory, bro. And I feel like just like Theory's a better performer in general, you know? Like, so that kind of pisses me off the way Grayson Waller's character is.
And in the end, bro, Austin Theory, like, he started to pipe up. Like,
Yeah.
he started to say something until Jacob Fatu
Yeah.
ran in.
Then we get a Samoan werewolf.
Yeah, he decimated both of the teams, making way for Solo and the rest of the Bloodline to come into the ring and announce their conquests.
For gold.
They're coming for all gold.
So we're gonna probably see the Tongans with the tag titles. I say Jacob Fatu may end up getting across with LA Knight. That might be something. I could see that happening.
I could see it happening too. And I honestly, the U.S. title might look good around Jacob Fatu's waist.
And I'm gonna go ahead and make a prediction. It's a bold prediction, but the way Jacob Fatu is looking on the end when they like with the eyes and everything, I think he's working with Roman, dude.
That would be crazy, especially considering he's already acknowledged Solo.
Like, I feel like he's playing undercover, man.
And he powerbombed Paul Heyman.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that makes sense. You know, like, who else than the guy that got sent by the real tribal chief? You know what I mean? I'm just gonna make a bold prediction. We'll see what happens.
He's playing way undercover. And I've seen a lot of people kind of saying that Jacob Fatu should be the tribal chief and not Solo, and I don't agree with that stance because Jacob Fatu's being presented as this insane dude, like he's a little mental, like he's a werewolf.
Yeah.
You know, he's crazy.
And he's an enforcer. That's perfect.
He's not meant to be making the decisions. He's a destroyer. You tell him to destroy, and
Like, go out there and hurt them. He's going to hurt them
Yeah,
like
and
he
he
did the tag
destroys them.
champions. You know, like, that's what he just did to your tag team champions. He came out there and destroyed them. Like, that's all that's all he is. He's literally the enforcer. You know, that's what an enforcer is.
But I'm glad to see that Jacob Fatu is being received so well.
But yeah, then Jacob Fatu and all the Samoan Tongan people, bro, they beat the shit out of Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes, bro. I didn't like how they had him tied up on the ropes, like, no, don't hurt him.
That was something straight from an anime, like, take me.
Bro, that was like, you know, it was kind of comical, you know.
I heard rumors that Randy Orton suffered an injury.
Also heard about that. I don't know how true it is. It might not be something like
Maybe
career
it's
ending,
kayfabe.
but it's possibly going in with something for him to turn heel, I think.
And speaking of that, Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes had a backstage segment where they talked about defeating Solo and what comes after the Bloodline.
Yep.
And
They're like, the numbers would be against us now, but after this is done, like, I'm coming for that title.
And Randy, like, the voices were definitely talking to him. Like, he was eyeing the WWE title. That's not what his mouth was saying. He's like, I'll have your back, Cody. I'll have your back. But, like, he was looking straight down at the WWE title. I don't even really think he was listening to Cody Rhodes. And I like Jacob Fatu.
And dude, those two moves he did, them little springboard things he did at the end, bro, those were phenomenal moves for a man his size. Like, there's not a lot of people that could do something like he did, bro.
And as far as the Bloodline outside of Solo, Jacob Fatu's got personality. So, I mean, I think there's only bigger things coming for Jacob Fatu. But moving on in the other sports entertainment news.
So we'd like y'all to check out AWL Wrestling, and it's out of Gadsden, Alabama, and we'd like to shout out Seth Maverick. Him and Tyson Gates had a really good I Quit match, and Seth Maverick ended up coming out on top. Also, ADT had a insane match against Christopher James in a last man standing match, and that was a pretty decent match.
Really cinematic.
Like, these guys been working, they've been, you know, putting their time in. They you know, give them a view. Show them some love.
It's worth a watch on YouTube. Very cinematic, entertaining stuff.
And as for the podcast, we think you know, like, share, comment, like, we really appreciate everybody that's been listening and sticking with us. Like, hey, comment your favorite wrestler, give us predictions, let us know how y'all feel.
And we appreciate the 20,000 views on TikTok.
Yeah, we've actually been trying to get on more social media platforms, and it's actually paying off. So, like, just keep doing what you're doing. You know, like, we're trying to, you know, get a bigger fan connection. You know, that's what we are. Just stick with us. We're gonna stick with y'all.
Thank you for listening. But for now, the Fan Connection podcast is out of here.